What's up, guys? Today we're coming at you with a all odds phantom deck profile. So let's jump in this deck profile. Let's see what we're coming at you with. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure, if you're new to the channel, to hit the subscribe button. That'd be much appreciated. Also too, be sure to leave a like and a comment. That way we know what feedback you got from us, guys. So let's jump into this. Let's see what we're coming at you with. To start things off, we're running 3 of our all odds Phantom Dragon. This card is, it's a very lackluster card. It's not a card that we really wanted for odd odds, but the thing about it is a pretty decent card for what it is if you make the plays the way you want to. The biggest thing about this guy is he's not going to be able to be pendulum summoned. He's not going to be able to special summon it the other ways. You're going to have to tribute off 2 pendulum monsters. One of them's going to have to be a pendulum dragon, and this is going to special summon either from your extra deck or from your hand. Usually you're sacking your whole board, so usually you're going to have to make plays that you're going to only have 2 monsters on board, like this is your Electromite play. So if you're not going to go into Electromite, go into this and just go for a play like that. The pendulum effect is the effect that really makes this card pretty good. When he's in the pendulum zone, whenever your monster's in doing battle in the damage step or the dragon, you can target that card. It's going to be able to attack twice like a Blackluster Soldier. So that can be very crucial and help you OTK a little bit easier. His monster effect is going to be the one, if it battles and during damage step, you can make this card come up to 6k. That's very good. And if you have a continuous spell on the field, if your opponent activates effect, send that continuous spell to the spell trap to the graveyard, and you can negate that effect. So that can be very useful to you too. But he's a pretty good little beater. The main thing is he's a low scale and he can help you double attack. It's very good. Next, we're running 3 Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon. This, you want to be able to get this high scale as fast as possible. You want to be able to see this card, get it in your pen scale, and start getting your Odd Eyes engine rolling the way you want to. That way, if you fail with your All Eyes Phantom play, you can have your Odd Eyes play. If you fail with your Odd Eyes play, you can go All Eyes Phantom. And it works out. It has pretty good little balance. We're also running 3 of our Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. This card's good for just making sure you can get the search at the end phase, depending on what searches you want to go for. Also too, the main thing is he can be searched with Duelist Alliance and also the other search engine for Odd Eyes. So it can be very useful to being able to get the play set up the way you want to and get the cards you need in your hand. We're also running 2 Odd Eyes Persona. This is just to make sure we have another low scale. Also too, to be able to make sure that we can hate on those extra deck monster effects that our opponent wants to pop off on us. Could be something that could be very detrimental to them and keep them off their game state. We're also running the 1 Odd Eyes Mirage. Odd Eyes Mirage is just all around good. He's the mascot of the deck. He's another high scale, and he's a searchable normal summon. Very good. We're running a few starter engines in the deck. So we're running 3 Chronograph Sorcerer and the 1 Time Gazer. This engine right here really comes in really clutch for the deck in this build, because for 1, he's going to help you to keep extra bodies on board. 2, he's going to be able to help you search Time Gazer, so that's very useful for the deck. Also too, he's another high scale, so it's another way that you can use him as a high scale and put your All Eyes Phantom Dragon in, and then just pin summon all your dragons, do the plays you want to do, and you can go for those big pushes. We're also running a 3 Dark Worm and the Donut. This is a nice little engine too. This is the one that you want in all of your pendulum decks. It's just going to be one of those cards that you're going to have to, get it in the graveyard or normal summon it. And this is going to be one of the main cards that you're going to use to summon out your All Eyes Phantom. Also too, your Odd Eyes Mirage is another card, so you always want to make sure you have a spot. If you do want to do the pendulum summon aspect of it and sack it off that way, you always got to make sure you get this card back on the field, or your Odd Eyes Mirage back onto the field, so you get those plays. And lastly, for the monsters, we're running 3 Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser. This is just another helpful way to make sure that you can get extra level 4 monster on board. Just a faster way to get a starter engine going, and just to help you to have another you know, way to get a monster on board. It's just going to be another easy free. You know, your opponent's going to have to really fight to make sure that they don't know what you're playing. Really, they going to think you're playing something like Pendulum Magicians or just Pendulums, and then you drop All Odds Phantom on them, they're like, what is this? But that is it for the monsters. For the spell cards, we're running 3. Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness, this is just something to help to eat through the deck a little faster. We want to make sure we get to the key pieces that we want to get to as fast as possible, and we got plenty of dark monsters in the deck that we can do that. We're also running 2 Duelist Alliance. Like I was saying earlier, we're going to want to be able to search out that Odd Eyes Art Pendulum Dragon as fast as possible. Also too, we want to search out the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, and that's just going to be an easier way for us to get to the cards that we want when we want to see them. On top of that, we're running 3 Spiral Flame. Spiral Flame, like I said, in my opinion, is the best searcher in the game. The fact that it's going to help you get your searches for your Odd Eyes level 7s or higher, or your level 7, excuse me. To be able to get your level 7 searches is just going to be what you want to do. Also too, if you have Odd Eyes on board, if your opponent has a card that you do not want to see before you make your plays, just go ahead and crush that card. It's going to allow you to destroy that card and, you know, keep making the plays the way you want to. We're also running 2 the Melody of Awakening Dragon. This is the card that we're going to use to search out our Odd Eyes, our All Eyes Phantom Dragon. This card is just going to be able to help you get 2 of those dragons in hand as fast as possible, and that's really what you want. You want to get 2 of those cards in hand as fast as possible. That way you have 1 to summon and 1 to make sure you can get the double attack. That way you can end the game as fast as possible. Yes, you're not going to be able to search off of both of these, but the thing about it is you still have cards in the deck that you can pitch this with, things like that, and you can still get a plus off this card. So don't worry about that. You just want to see this card as fast as possible. We're also running the 1 Terraforming, the 2 Sky Iris, and the 1 Dragon Ravine. This is just a nice little engine to help, you know, you want to be able to get that Sky Iris as fast as possible, and Dragon Ravine, you want to see it to help to get that Dark Worm in the graveyard. That way you can get that free special summon. This right here is a nice little, you know, any way you play it, however you want to set up your plays, it's a nice little package just for field spell to help you with the deck. It's very, very nice. And lastly, for the spell cards, well, I take that back. We got 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Dragon Shrine. This is just to make sure we get that Dark Worm in the graveyard as fast as possible. I still want to run the 1 and 1. I'm still going to see it, you know, as fast as I want to, because I got the Dragon Ravine that could push it if I wanted to. But this right here is a nice little, you know, way to send Dark Worm to the graveyard. And lastly, for the spells, I'm running 1 Soul Pendulum. Soul Pendulum is mainly in here to help with the Odd Eyes effect for the negation, but too the boost of attack helps a lot for this deck. You know, to be able to have those extra counters on there, to be able to make sure that your monsters get that 300 attack buff, really does help out a lot. But that is it for the spell cards. For the extra deck, we're running 1 Odd Eyes Vortex. Odd Eyes Vortex is still very good for the deck. To be able to get this monster on board, bounce a face-up attack, position monster back, and also to be able to get those negates that you want is very useful. We're running 1 Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. Odd Eyes Meteor Burst is just going to help you to extend your board, to be able to grab those monsters out of your pendulum scale, especially some to the field, and just keep extending your plays. We're running 2 Odd Eyes Absolute. Odd Eyes Absolute is, you know, very, very good for this deck. You know, to be able to special summon this, it can stall your opponent out, you know, if you're not getting the plays the way you want to. Also too, it can help you to have those 2 dragons on board that you need. Another thing that you can do with this is also too is just going to help you to be able to special summon out your Odd Eyes Meteor Burst or your Vortex Dragon, depending on how you want to make your plays. But it's very, very good for the deck. We're also running 1 Red Eyes Flare Metal. Flare Metal is just going to help you to, if you get in those time situations, or if you didn't be able to get the damage in that you want to, let your opponent eat yourself up. We're also running the one number 11 Big Eye. Big Eye is just a big guy, you know, just to be able to snatch steal your opponent's cards. If they got a little big monster out there, it's a little too big, go ahead and steal it, make them pay for it. We're also running the one Naruto, the Moral Leader. This is just a good way to make sure we can stop those crazy spell card effects. We don't want to see your opponent getting too many crazy spell cards or trap card effects popping off, so just go ahead and put an end to all that hate. We're also running one Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion. This is just to make sure we get those good easy buffs, you know, over our opponents, you know, monsters. If they got, like I said, crazy monsters like seem like pop out on the field all the time nowadays, so you want to make sure that you have the answer to those monsters so that they're not too big and you bigger than them. Also running the one Abyss Dweller. Sometimes the graveyard effects can be a little too much. Go into this card right here and just go ahead and put an end to all that. Make sure that your opponent, you know, really has no responses and just has to pass the turn. Also running one Underclock Taker. This is another good alternative I like too. The fact that you can special summon this, put your All Eyes underneath this card, and then like I said, All Eyes is going to get some pretty big buffs that could be very, very beneficial to you to whenever you want to make a lot of your plays. Same thing with Pentastag. If you get, you know, your All Eyes, you know, linked to this, you know, you're just going to be able to do some major trample damage. You won't be able to make sure you have maximum offense on this deck. You won't be able to go push. You won't go all brakes. I mean all gas, no brakes all the time. You just want to make sure that you can just keep pushing as hard as you want to. We're running the one Heavy Metal Foes Electrum. This is just, you know, good for every Pendulum deck. As long as we can run this card, we're gonna run it. They need to give us a specific Odd Eyes Link monster. All these other decks are starting to get Link's monsters, so we'll give it some time. Konami, you hear this? Hey, give your boy some help. Give me an Odd Eyes Link monster. It's actually gonna benefit the deck, not something just to be sitting there just being crazy on the field. So, Electrum, this needs to be an Odd Eyes Link monster. We're also running one Decode Talker. Decode Talker is just, to me, still a good generic Link monster. This is going to be something that you want to put up a next to the gate for, and it can still get big too. We're running the one Zephyr Metatron. This is after you've done all the plays you want to, have 3 pointers pointing down, get all the pendulum summons you want, and, you know, make your opponent pay. And lastly, for the extra deck, we're running one Borlo Dragon, just because Borlo Dragon can be a very problematic card and, you know, put your opponent in point. But that's it for the deck profile, guys. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Also, to be sure to Gallic gun that like button, share, comment, subscribe. Thanks, guys, for all your love and support. We're out.